Hey, today's video is brought to you by Vitamin Energy. I have a fitness lifestyle and a healthy lifestyle, and sometimes when I'm doing that fitness, I need a little extra boost. So I go to Vitamin Energy for that. This is their 8-pack. You're going to get 8 different bottles. They all have different uses. So you have your burner, your sport, vitamin D, workout. Also, you're going to get mood, focus, B12, and immune. Okay. All of them are great. So I suggest you click on the link in the description and try it out for yourself. One other thing about Vitamin Energy is you are going to get energy that lasts up to 7+ hours. It's packed with vitamins. There is no sugar crash, and it tastes great. So make sure you get your Vitamin Energy today. Welcome in, friends. This is Ashley Johnson of Ashley's Fitness Party, and this is part 2 of the surrogacy journey. So you want to be a surrogate. Sorry it took me so long to post part 2, but I had the baby and I needed some time to recuperate, some time to pull myself together. The last time we spoke, I was fully 9 months pregnant. I started the surrogacy journey video vlog way late in the game, and the baby comes when the baby wants to come. So that's how that went. But all right, as you can see, I'm a little bit more lively. I have more energy because I am not 9 months pregnant. But we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. The last time we spoke on video number 1 about the surrogacy journey, we talked about matching parents, medical clearance, psychological evaluations, background checks, and picking your surrogacy agency. So if you want to hear those beginning parts, go ahead and click on the video. So you want to be a surrogate part 1. I'll put the video link down in the description. And today we are going to be talking about what to expect right before your frozen embryo transfer and what to expect right after, because that's an exciting time in your life. It's just an exciting time period for you and the intended parents. So let's jump right into that, okay? What you're going to need to do after medical clearance. Passing medical clearance opens the door and starts the ball rolling for everything else that's to come along. And that includes your medications, which include the estrogen and progesterone, and also you getting ready for the frozen embryo transfer. We talked about medical clearance in the first video, so you can check that out. But what you're going to do is you're going to need to wait for your full flow cycle. So once you pass clearance, the contracts are signed, everything's ready to move forward. Now we have to wait for your period. So like we discussed before, it is a game of hurry up and wait. I don't know if I said that in the first video. I think I did, but if I didn't, let me clarify that again. This is a game of hurry up and wait. So if you are not a patient person, this is going to be a challenge for you. All right. So you're waiting for your full flow cycle. That means usually 3 days into your period. And the reason that is because they need to make sure that you are officially on your period so you can start birth control. Okay, so you're going to be taking birth control for about 3 to 4 weeks. And that is 3 to 4 weeks before your frozen embryo transfer. Also, there's a few other things that are going to happen. And the reason you have to start birth control is because it's just hormonal regulation, and they're going to make sure that you are ready for the frozen embryo transfer. So you start the birth control. On top of that, you are going to start estrogen. The estrogen pills that you're going to take, well, it could be estrogen pills, it could be estrogen injections, or it could be a patch. Just to be clear, I was on pills called estradiol, estradiol, if you want to look it up. I was on the estrogen pills. You're going to start those 2 weeks before your frozen embryo transfer. So, just to be clear, you'll be on birth control, you'll be on estrogen, and then just a few days before your frozen embryo transfer, you are going to start your progesterone injections. And oh my God, those injections are, it's a lot. It can be scary when you look at the needle because it is an intramuscular injection. A lot of people who are in relationships, like if you're married or have a boyfriend or something like that, choose to let their significant other do the injection for them. You are going to put it in your bottom. And there is a way that you have to do it that is safe and effective. So what I would suggest is maybe finding videos. There's some on Facebook and there's some on YouTube that show you how to properly do your progesterone injections. And what I can suggest while we're on the subject, while we're talking about it, is to warm up the progesterone oil by putting the vial in a cup of warm water, and two, ice the spot that you're going to be injecting. So you're going to take a bag of, an ice pack or a bag of ice cubes, and ice that spot until it's fully numb. And then take your warm vial of progesterone, pull it into the needle, make sure all the bubbles are out, just as you'll find out once you are starting this process. And go ahead and put it in while that spot is still numb. And the reason that you warm up the oil is because the cold oil is harder for it to, once it gets into the bloodstream or into your body, it can sit there and kind of in a knot, like a hard knot in that area that you have to kind of massage out. But if it's warm, it flows in easier. It doesn't feel as painful, and it can spread faster. So for several reasons, I suggest warming up the oil, and of course, numbing the spot so it doesn't hurt so much when you put the needle in. Okay. So we're gonna stop talking about needles now. Nobody wants to talk about needles. But that is a 3-month process. Okay. Oh, that is a 3-month process overall. But before your frozen embryo transfer, it's only going to be a few days of that before the transfer. Okay, just to be clear. So let's talk about a few weeks before the frozen embryo transfer, aka the FET. So if you see FET, that's what they're talking about, your embryo transfer. A few weeks before that, you're going to stop birth control. So about 2 to 3 weeks before transfer, you're going to stop your birth control, but you're going to continue the estrogen. And like I said, a few days before, you're going to start the progesterone. Also, a few weeks before the frozen embryo transfer, you're going to start your ultrasounds and your blood work. There's 3 major appointments you have to do. These are called your monitoring appointments. Your monitoring appointments are done by your by a reproductive center or somewhere that you can go to get your ultrasounds and blood work done. So you're going to go get your ultrasound done because they have to check your womb. They got to make sure your ovaries are quiet. That's what they call it. Your ovaries are quiet. And they have to make sure that there's nothing going on in your womb that is going to be obstructive to the transfer or make the transfer not work. Because the thing is, you don't want to have to do 2, 3, 4 transfers, but that is normal. But if you don't have to do that, then why do it, right? You want the first transfer to be as successful as possible. And we'll talk about that in a little bit about multiple transfers. But either way, just to be clear about my situation, I had a polyp in my uterus, and that had to be removed. They will not do a transfer with the polyp. Now, I have heard that that has been done in the past, but I don't know the success rate on something like that. So most doctors opt to remove that before they do the transfer, and that's what I had to do. I had to get that polyp removed. So let's just say my embryo transfer date was March 9th. I went in to get the polyp removed on February 1st. So how this happened was I went in to get checked out for the, let me see, hold on. So how this happened was I was supposed to get my embryo transfer originally in January. They found the polyp. They canceled the embryo transfer and then scheduled me in for a hysterectomy. Not a They canceled the embryo transfer and scheduled me in for a hysterectomy, not a hysterectomy. Hysterectomy is something different. Hysterectomy is when they remove a polyp, okay? So they scheduled me in for that, and that was for February the 1st. Everything went well. I had to go under general anesthesia. They had to remove the polyp, followed by a week later, it was about 7 to 10 days. They check the polyp because they have to do that to make sure that it's benign and not cancerous. Once they find out that it's benign, then they can move forward with rescheduling the embryo transfer. So that's what happened to me. Once they found out it was benign, which actually it happened to fall on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. I thought that was really special. I found out that the polyp was benign, and I was rescheduled for March 8th for my embryo transfer. So fast forward to March 8th. When you do your embryo transfer, you do not have to go under anesthesia. You can eat and drink as normal. You will be awake through the entire process. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Baby Mama, but that's one of my favorite movies. That movie is just so ridiculous and hilarious. But if you've ever seen the movie Baby Mama, that is exactly how it goes. There's like a thing, a little thing that implants the embryo into your uterus, and you'll be able to watch it happening on a screen. And that's what happened. There was a screen in front of me. I'm laying on the hospital bed. I have my feet up in the stirrups, and they implant the embryo into my uterus. Okay, as I'm watching it happen, it's really cool. Completely painless, and it's over. The whole process takes maybe about 30 minutes from the moment they go get the embryo to the moment they bring it in the room. It starts to thaw almost immediately, which is what you want. And from the moment they implant the embryo, all of that takes maybe 30 minutes, and then you're done. Now, that's what you want to expect up until the frozen embryo transfer date. Now you're ready for phase 2, part 2. Once the embryo is there, when you leave the office, they're going to tell you no physical activity. You're going to need to lay down almost immediately. You don't want to be doing a lot of walking around. You want that egg to be, sorry, not the egg. You want the embryo to be stable inside your body. You want it to stick. That's why you hear a lot of girlies who are surrogates say sticky vibes when you get your embryo transfer. You want that embryo to stick to your uterus, and go ahead and start the evolution process, the growing process. So once you are done with the embryo transfer, you want to make sure you're not moving around a lot, no physical activity. You want to lay down on a bed, and you want to relax. Excuse me. A lot of women swear by French fries. They say French fries help the embryo stick. I don't know. That's some surrogacy superstition. You might want to go with that. But either way, you want to relax and make sure that you are not doing too much. So just moving forward, you're going to want to make sure they're going to tell you other things that you can't do, like splashing water and different things like that that you're not supposed to do right after the embryo transfer. I'll leave that up to the doctor and you to discuss, but they will tell you. You'll see what I mean by the splashing water thing, okay? Now, 6 days after embryo transfer, you can take a pregnancy test. Yes, that's exciting because I was waiting. Like at day 5, I already had the pregnancy test ready to go. I wanted to know if I was pregnant. So 6 days after, you can take a pregnancy test and see what it says. I did mine the morning of the 6th day, and I did the digital test and it said pregnant. I was like, yes. So that's not enough for anyone to say that it's official. You do have to go get your beta HCG official blood test done. So 8 to 9 days after the frozen embryo transfer, you should already be scheduled in for your beta HCG. And I'm saying beta as in BETA and HCG as in I don't know, human cat girl. Okay. Your test number 1 has to be a certain number. I think I was at 259. And test number 2, the numbers have to go up. Okay. So if test number 1 is within that range, pregnant range, you're good. But by test number 2, the numbers have to go up. And then you're official. Okay. Test number 2 comes about 10 to 12 days after the FET, the frozen embryo transfer. 30 days later, you are going to be planning to go in for your first heartbeat appointment. That's super exciting to hear the baby's heartbeat. Once you hear that heartbeat, you know that it's official, the baby is there. And now you just want to do everything that you can to keep that baby out of harm's way. 1, taking your progesterone at the same time every night, your injection. Make sure it fully gets in your body. You're going to be doing this for, like I said earlier. Now I'm coming back to that again when I said you have to do your progesterone and estrogen for 3 months. That's what I was talking about. The next 3 months after the frozen embryo transfer, you will be continuing with your progesterone injections and your estrogen, and making sure that you are following along with those guidelines, because you have to remember this was not a natural pregnancy. You have to convince your body that you're pregnant and stay pregnant. And the only way to do that is to get these hormones down packed and make sure you do them at the same time every day. You're going to be taking, if it's pills, you'll do 2 estrogen pills in the morning, 2 estrogen pills in the evening, and plus your progesterone injection in the evening. And you got to stay on that like clockwork, because you don't want to have a miscarriage because you just kind of dropped the ball and forgot and didn't stay on track with that. That's heartbreaking for you. That's heartbreaking for the intended parent. So stay on top of those hormonal injections and pills, and make sure that you're eating good, that you're resting, that you're not stressed out. Everything that you want to do if you want to have a baby and a pregnancy go to full term, you're going to do for this pregnancy. All right, that is part 2 of what to expect as a surrogate, right before the frozen embryo transfer and right after. We are going to do a part 3. Part 3 we will be talking about first trimester, okay, and a few other things. So if you want more information in regards to the beginning parts of becoming a surrogate, remember to go to video number 1, part 1. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like and comment on my content if you enjoyed it today. And I appreciate you sticking around to the end. All right. Take care, friends. Bye bye.